Cincinnati, we gon' rise and jungle we unite and drippin' orange and black and white. Full day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who got 'em, who rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Bingo bottle, never stop it. To the feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our...
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bengals and Brews. I am Houday Joe. With me is Greg Luther from Rally Round the Natty. Thank you all for joining. Dale should be joining us in a little bit. Greg, how you doing today?
Doing well. How you doing? I guess happy opening day for the Reds, right?
I know. I've said before I've fallen out of love with baseball recently, but it's always a city holiday in Cincinnati.
Oh.
I saw some of the pictures down there. I was like, is that today? I mean, it looks like there's like a victory parade going on down there.
Well, Joe, with me, when management says to other fans, where else are you going to go? It kind of strikes a chord in you and all that, Sam. I mean, I know it happened a year ago, but to this, I'm sorry, it just feels like yesterday. If that's going to be your mentality, telling fans just be happy with what you got with mediocrity, then I will go. I will spend my money somewhere else.
Yep. Especially when you have another team in the city where things have never been better. I didn't really think about it. I think the guys on Locked On said it. It was just like, these are the two, back-to-back seasons, like most successful seasons this franchise has ever had, going to the AFC Championship game back-to-back years. That's really wild to think about. And it's good to be a Bengals fan. And all the hate that Mike Brown used to get, I mean, it's nothing but love with the front office, with Katie Blackburn, Duke Tobin, even some of the other folks like, Liz Blackburn. Nothing but love. It's good to be a Bengals fan.
Absolutely. And I don't want to get too into this, but like for years, I've always felt like, talk about ironic, the Bengals have been treated like the redheaded stepchild to the Reds. Like, even like, if you look from like 2000 and on, the Bengals made the playoffs way more than the Reds have. It's like when the Bengals lose a playoff game, it was like same old Bengals. This is a horrible franchise. But when the Reds didn't even make the playoffs at times, I heard people say, oh, I'm so excited for next year. I'm just so excited. This is the Reds team. A lot of the older age demographic still likes to live by the big red machine pass and all that. And that's always drove me nuts over the years, because I always just got sick and tired of hearing that. And I'm not saying I'm happy that the Reds are being attacked, but it's just the Reds are showing the truth. It's now when Phil Castellini finally said, where are you going to go? It's finally, this is the one time their brand has been come after and all that. Because that was tried to
tell him, Greg, fuck him up.
Yeah,
He's about to go savage on the Reds.
Of the Reds. But until management, until Castellini sell the team, now unless I get a ticket for free drinks and free food, then I'll go, because you need free drinks watching that team.
Now, in fairness, it was Phil Castellini, not Bob, right?
Yeah, no, Phil. It was Phil, but I went.
Yeah.
But it was Phil. Yeah.
They're all in it together, not doing anything to put anything on the field competitive as it could be.
Right.
And you have to in baseball. It's not like, you have to spend to the cap and there's all this revenue sharing. I mean, you have to have an owner willing to spend and invest in the team, especially in a market like Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I had a buddy of mine who's a diehard Reds fan and hates the Bengals. Like, one time we were at a game together and the Reds lost and I was just enjoying myself. And he's like, why aren't you mad or something? I'm like, I don't care. I'm here just to enjoy myself for free drinks and free food. Right. He's like, why is it that the Bengals, you would always split by, but now you're coming after the Reds? Well, because I never once, say what you want about Mike Brown, I never once heard him say, where else are you going to go? I never heard him say that. I have disagreements with Mike Brown, but I never in my life heard him say that. Have you guys?
Yeah. No. And it took a long time, I think, for fans to come around on Mike Brown, but the narrative...
Have we come around on Mike Brown?
He liked winning. No, he wanted to win, but he wanted to win to his own criteria.
Correct.
Until I think people were like, look, this
other voices in the room, I think.
What's
got
that?
heard. I think other voices in the room started getting heard, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he wanted to win by how his dad played. And, it's like, to quote Bob Dylan, the times are changing and all that
Right.
and stuff. And you have to learn to adapt and all that. That's just how it is. And the best decision he ever made was let his other people, like Duke Tobin. I think he gave Duke Tobin a bigger role. He gave other people around the office. He's like, you know what? You guys know what you're doing. Elizabeth, who came in, helped out with the Ring of Honor and all that. He finally started letting other people. I'm like, you know what? You guys go ahead and do this. I'll just sit back and go along with it.
Yeah, and
Greg,
he was much more stubborn.
What's that?
I was just gonna say he was much more stubborn, but I think he always wanted to win. I remember early on in the Marvin years, it might have been like the first time we won the division, and Marvin gave this really passionate speech after the game and just saying, Mike Brown loves this team so much, and he's like, choking up, crying, because he's like, he knows how much hate that Mike Brown got, but at the end, he is a good man. He has the best intentions. He was just being real stubborn in his ways.
Yeah, I think that's the difference too. I think Mike always wanted to win.
Yes.
Whereas this Reds team, I think they just want to be able to make enough money almost.
It's an ATM.
They're more worried about the money than they are about winning. Mike Brown just, like you guys said, wanted to win his own way. Didn't think you had to spend the free agency and just, all these things that, his dad, I think, was always ahead of the times. It's just, I don't think he knew how to be his own man, unfortunately, for a long time. Like, I hate to say, I'm not him. Obviously, the guy's done some great things. I don't want to shit on him, but
no.
I'm just saying he would frustrate a lot of us that it took this long. But now, like, I'm very thankful that they do things the way they do it, and just like the way we're spending on the O line, I tweeted that. I seen that the other day. We're in the top 3 for our offensive line. It's like, thank you. That was a problem. You went out and you're trying to still solve it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, because I had always people tell me Mike Brown doesn't care about winning. Mike Brown doesn't care about winning. That just always pissed me off all the time. Like I said, he cared about his own criteria. I just got so sick and tired of hearing that. I literally quit talking to one friend of mine because he kept mentioning it all the time. I'm like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, you can tell he cares. The way he's out there watching practices, everything, all the time. Like, you can tell he cares. It's just, it didn't always match up with the product on the field.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, the way how he's letting the team run now, hats off to him.
Yeah. And credit to Katie and Elizabeth and Duke. And that's what you said, Duke. And then you mentioned Ring of Honor. And I thought, man, if there's a guy that deserves Ring of Honor one day, Duke Tobin should be high on that list because, to be not a general manager, but for all intents and purposes, he is.
Duke it's just
general
not
manager.
He has he has the power. It's just not his title.
Right.
Yeah, and he's been a great general manager.
Oh my God.
Building this team with as much responsibilities as he has, a free agency, draft, just building during the season, contracts. He's a little part of all of it, and he does a great job.
Well, the Titans, I think a couple of teams over the years tried to get him to be their general manager, and he turned it down. And that just shows you how much authority he does have in there. Because my take is, okay, you get offered general manager roles like other places, and you turn them down, and you're still in here. They must be doing something right, treating him well, Yeah,
and he knows that title will eventually be his.
Yeah,
I think if it was that big of a deal to him, they would do it. It's probably just not that big a deal to him. So
Yep, 100%.
But so, who did everybody in the chat?
Yeah, Bude, Jerome, I saw.
Jerome, Crip,
Kevin, Crip, Ken, Darth.
I hear you, but I hear you, Crip. We still like you, Joey. Who did?
Yeah, and Joey's not playing because he's hurt, but he sounds like he'll be back soon, right?
I totally agree. Yeah, besides Joey Votto, I cannot name you one guy on the Reds roster. I used to follow the Reds for years. I'll be honest with you guys. Besides the Bengals going to the Super Bowl,
Jonathan India.
One of the best days of my life is when we got Ken Griffey Jr. I know we didn't.
Hunter Green's pitch.
Ken Griffey Jr. I'm sure you guys all remember where you guys were when we got Ken Griffey Jr. I was in 7th grade. That was one of the best days of my life when we got Griffey. I know it didn't pan out, but that still was a fun time when we got him.
I was going to say, it still panned out in the sense of how fun it was to watch him play at Cincinnati Red, and when he was hitting some of the home run milestones. Memories that you love to have. There's a big donkey Adam Dunn in there.
Yeah,
cranking
Adam
homers
Dunn.
for
Yeah,
a
like I
while.
said, I mean, obviously number one
I loved those teams back then
for us, but Griffey though, man, that was fun times to watch with him.
for sure. So the one note I had about, I'm sure everyone saw the T. Higgins video package from 85 to 5. I thought they did an awesome job with it. The way they brought in all the Ocho Cinco quotes and, dubbed them out to make it, Cinco and cover 5. I thought that was awesome. Do you guys think that this has any boding well for how contract extensions negotiations are going, or is this just selling merchandise for tomorrow?
Now you're reading my mind, because that's a big reason why I titled this one about contract extensions for this episode, and I put T right on there because he's at the top of that list. And I put on there to the Bengals today. I was like, you'd sell a lot more jerseys if you go ahead and announce that extension too. Because I know there's a lot of people that don't want to get that jersey. Hey, a lot of people are still going to go get it. It looks good. A lot of people will still buy it. You announce that extension though, sales will skyrocket on that baby. I hope it is a precursor to it, but I mean, there's nothing to tell us that, but I sure hope it is.
Yeah, no, you know what, Joe, when you brought that up before the chat, I never thought of that. When you really think about it, in one case you think about it, he's like, well, look, if I'm leaving here, I'll just stick with 85 and I go somewhere else and I'll change to 5. You know what? I've never really thought of that. That's very interesting. He was on Pat McAfee saying, because Pat McAfee asked him, what was your take when Duke Tobin said, get your own receiver? He says, I'm really happy, and I hope we can work out a deal. Now, that's what a bunch of players say when they want to stay here. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen, but as of right now, to me, that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's a positive thing in a way of getting.
Hey, Kevin's, he's got the faith that it's going to get done. He's getting the jersey no matter what.
Love it.
No, the one I want to get the all whiteout jersey. I want to get an all whiteout jersey number 5. That's I don't know if you can buy one or anything, but that's the one I would want to get one in.
I'm sure you can eventually.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could get one customized, but
right, not the white jersey, the all whiteout jersey that we had from a couple of years ago that we came back with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the Bengal B on it.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely could have done less if contract negotiations weren't going well. They could have just put a graphic out there and say, hey, he's number 5 now. Cool. I mean, they did put a lot of work into that.
They made a big deal about it, yeah.
Yeah, they made a very big deal about it, which tells me things aren't going bad. I'm not saying it's imminent, but that's encouraging that I know things aren't going bad or they wouldn't have done that. And on top of that, you had Katie Blackburn at the owners meeting was very emphatic about Joey B, T. Higgins, and Logan Wilson and keeping them long term, where some other players we talked about not as emphatic. So,
which you guys heard the audio today about Mixon, and when I listened to it, I was like, I'm not picking up anything different than what she said.
I'm not.
The pauses and stuff, it almost seemed like, okay, I want to be really calculated. Plus, there was a kid carrying on in the background. It sounded like
I heard that.
I don't know what was going on, but I didn't. Because I know a lot of people's like, oh, that sounds way worse. And I'm not saying that that's how they interpret it, that they're wrong, but I didn't. When I listened to it, I was like, I think she just literally doesn't want to say anything because it's one of those fluid situations that's up in the air and could go either way. So it's like, I'll look like an ass if I say, no, he's our guy. We're not going to get rid of him. And then 2 guys in the draft just pop up that are available in the 3rd and 4th round back to back. And it's like, oh, we could save a lot of money here and go with these guys. And then you cut them and you look like an a-hole. But she also didn't want to, do the opposite and say, yeah, we're going to cut him. And then what if you get nobody in the draft? And then it's like, okay, maybe we want to restructure or maybe they're still just trying to restructure and you just don't even want to talk about that. That's how I took it, but how did you guys? It sounds like Joe took it a little different.
Go ahead, Greg. I'll let you go first, Greg.
Like they said, he's here when he said. But my first take is, if they were that committed to him, they would have immediately said, he's our running back. We have full faith in him. It just shows you they're still kind of on the fence. They don't even know what they're going to do at running back. It depends on how the draft goes. I've said this. I want Zeke Elliott. I'd rather draft a young running back to fill in for Mixon. That's me personally. If Mixon's back on the team next year, I fully support that because I trust management if Mixon's back. Either way, despite that, I'm sorry, he's not worth the $12 million. Nothing against Mixon or anything. I just don't think he's worth the $12 million. But if he's wanting to stay for a lesser deal, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, when I first read the comment by Katie, I read it as, well, she's just being non-committal because she either way, she doesn't know what's going to happen for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, we still have the draft, free agents, whatever, extensions. But when I did hear the audio, all of the really long pauses and she was really struggling to either find the words, or she had thoughts in her head that she was suppressing and being like, I don't want to say it that way, or I don't want to say that because that could come across that way. She was being very, very careful.
Oh yeah.
So it did sound worse hearing it than reading it, but I don't think it's like, oh well, Mixon's definitely gone because of the tone of her voice or anything like that, because I don't think anybody knows for sure. But what it does tell me overall, reading it or hearing it, is I think if they were doing everything in their power to keep Joe Mixon, whether that be restructure, they would have said that. We want Joe Mixon on this team, and we are doing everything in our power to make that happen. Obviously, it's a business, so we'll see what happens. They didn't say that. They said, he's our starting running back right now. I'll read it. It said, you're laying out all the arguments and thoughts you can certainly weigh. You never know where things can go. But right now, he's there. And we're going to plan like that until something different would happen for whatever reason. Like I said, I don't want to say anything's happening because that's not fair. But you point out some things that at some point you might have to look at, maybe. So I don't want to say that can never happen, but I don't want to imply that's happening. Those are all alternatives, and there are several other players in theory you could say the same thing about. But like I said, I don't want to send any message one way or another because I don't think that would be fair. Right now, he's our starting guy. You've seen other teams have to make moves. Could we get to that point? Maybe. But it would be down the road here, and we'd have to see if that's what makes sense or not.
It's really like she worked really hard to say nothing, but
Right.
it's like it seems like she said a lot by saying nothing. They certainly didn't double down in a commitment.
Yeah, you've seen other teams have to make moves. Could we get to that point? Maybe. That tells me we've seen other teams have to cut star running backs that are making a lot of money. Could we cut Joe Mixon? Yes, maybe.
Yeah. Now, Chris, go ahead, Greg.
My question to you guys is, if you're Joe Mixon, do you take this as an insult right now?
I mean, no, you're still on the hook for $13 million and nothing's happened. Now, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes because that's the stuff. Or are they asking him to restructure right now?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you
are
assume
they saying,
the conversation's happening.
Yeah. I don't think either way they're going to come out and make a call and be like, hey, we could cut you depending on the draft. Right. Why would you do that? There's no reason to say that. So, like, the behind the scenes stuff is probably just more nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's probably trying to maybe read through some of this the same as we are when he hears her talk, because they're not going to say one way or the other to him unless there's something imminent. And right now, there's definitely nothing imminent. But Chris here is saying, we heard about the March 31st to push it to the next year for the escrow money and things like that for Burrow's extension. Do we think that could be what the holdup with T is also? Maybe. I think it's definitely with Burrow. I just don't know how close they are with T because, like Ken said, or Darce said, freak them all together.
Yeah.
It's still T's agent, so we don't know, but I do know that is what we've heard could be a thing for Burrow. And I mean, tomorrow's the 31st, so especially you see an extension announced, which how funny it'd be April 1st. And everyone's gonna be like, "Is that real? Is it not real? Right. It's April Fool's Day."
Yeah, I think it could be, but my impression is that the Joe Burrow deal is done and they're just waiting to announce it. Higgins, I don't know. Logan, I don't know. I think they're probably close with both of them, but I don't think that's what's holding it up right now.
Well, now, Joe, when people said they were at silence, both sides were silent, a lot of people started panicking. What do you think they meant? Remember that part? There was a part that said they were at like silence or something when they were both him and
I think what they were trying to convey there was that they're silent in the aspect of nothing out publicly on how the negotiations are going.
Okay. Because that's
how I took it.
some people started freaking out over that. Oh my God, there's silence. This is not a good idea and all that and
Yeah.
stuff.
I think
not
that
at
was
a
more
stalemate or
silence.
anything.
Yeah. They didn't say we're at a stalemate. That would have been different. They said, silence. I think more media, like what we're going to say, because we're not going to talk about our current negotiations. When there's an announcement, you'll have the announcement. Right. Is what I take from it.
Do you guys?
That's kind of what they've said the whole time.
So
when there's something to announce, you'll know it because it'll be announced.
So, Joe, when you're confident, when do you, if you had to guess, what do you think, Joe? Not that it matters, but do you think it'll be done before the season starts?
Burrow or who?
Yeah, Burrow.
Burrow, I think it'll be any day now. I think it'll be before the draft.
Okay. Dale?
If we're putting a timetable in it, I don't know. I'll just say after the draft for no reason, just to be different than Joe. I have no idea.
Because that's when extensions mainly get announced, when they do extensions for
That's
players.
true. AJ Green, Dunlap, Gino was on the same day that one year.
I'm just going to say training camp just because of that. I know fans are going to start freaking out and all that flipping out, but it is what it is. I like it when a lot of fans think we got to get this done now before Herbert this. I'm like, you don't think the Bengals know all this or anything?
Herbert is not going to drive Joe Burrow's market.
Right. I just like how some people think they know more than management. Management sees more than what we see and all that. I have full confidence. Now, T. Higgins, like I said, with Mulgeta, that's a different story. My question to you is, can we get Logan Wilson signed before the season?
The main reason I think that it will get done before the draft is because it is just such a huge thing to have locked in as far as long-term planning and for the cap, coming up this year. It's like, that's one thing that you just want signed.
Yes. But post-free agency doesn't really make big difference if you're pretty much not going to bring in anybody else free agency.
Well, so when I was
Plus you don't know if you're going to bring anybody till after the draft.
But when I was listening to Goodberry talk, he basically said that if you factor in Joe Burrow's extension, T. Higgins' extension, Logan Wilson's extension, you have no cap space. And that includes, your draft class, undrafted free agents, and a little bit of wiggle room. Like, you have no cap space anymore. So I just think having some of those extensions done earlier is going to be able to say, like, hey, can we bring in this free agent? Do we need to cut Joe Mixon? What can we do? And just having that in rather than having that, go into training camp, I just think they're going to get done sooner.
Yep.
Yeah, and I want to go through each one of these people here in a minute that are on one-year deals, which I know, Joe, you don't have too much. I know you got to get going.
Yeah.
But, this could be a cutoff date too, because you have to pick it up by a certain point. But I feel like, is that like beginning of the season, early in the season, that when the fifth-year option deadline is?
That I don't know.
I feel like it's really close to like season time. So I think it may even work. You could go as late as like what Greg said when you're around training camp to still get a deal done. But I would think that would be a deadline for sure, Chris, because Miami picked up Tua's already. And some teams will because they're trying to go ahead and factor that into their cap. They're not going to give Tua a big deal for sure, but they knew they wanted to keep him around for another year. So it made sense for them. It wouldn't make sense for us. We're trying to get the big deal done.
Yeah, he said early May, he thinks.
Okay, well, that's even sooner than I thought. So if that's the case, and it is early May, then, we could get an announcement anytime. It could just literally, like Joe said, be waiting for that 31st. And first, second. Crip said April 2nd, so I believe Crip. It's we decided that's Zach Taylor's burner account.
Yeah,
Crip Keeper.
It is.
I
know it is. Makes too much sense. Never seen his face.
He watches all the shows. When does he work with the Bengals? When does he coach?
That's what I want to know. Crypt or you, Zach Taylor? But no, speaking of April.
No wonder they're so successful. He's been watching our show.
Exactly.
We're kind of talking April here. A funny story. When I woke up that morning in our group chat, like when I saw we got Irv Smith, I'm like, oh, this is April Fool's. I'm not buying for this crap. And I look at my phone. Wait a minute, March 28th. This is real and all that. It's not April Fool's.
Greg don't even know what damn week it is, let alone day.
Not a bad thing.
Don't know the month. What month is it?
I was hearing some people talk about Logan Wilson, like, oh, he's definitely going to get extended, or they think there's a good chance he's going to get extended because the linebacker market is soft. You know, we saw that with.
I think that could work against us.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going, Dale. It's just like, yeah, but Logan Wilson, his agents see that too, and they're like, is this a good time for us to be signing our big deal, or should we roll the dice and see if the market, you know, gets a little bit hotter next off season, and you know, we test free agency or whatever it may be.
I feel like, sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, that was it.
But I feel like Pratt's got better almost every year to where he had his best season last year, whereas I feel like Wilson's just been damn good from the jump. That consistency should, in my opinion, probably be the difference in him making more than Pratt. So the fact that Pratt got a lot less than we expected also, where is he going to fall in that range between what the Ravens gave Roquan Smith and what we were able to sign Pratt for? That makes both sides happy. I think that's going to be tough to figure out.
Yeah, that will be. That's a big gap right there.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's and the other argument against it getting done is, well, how much money do they want locked up long term in the linebacker position?
Y'all hear that?
No.
I know somebody was cutting trees across the road, but
no, Dale.
That sounds like the fucking
Dale,
giant vibrator of some kind coming from the heavens.
Dale, it's probably is this it? This is my chair making squeaky sounds.
No, Greg, it's outside. I just didn't know if you guys could hear it because it's really loud.
I was like, is it my mic again? What did I do?
No. There's nothing on here.
Okay.
It's so fucking loud. Anyways.
Anyway.
Joe, you got a few more minutes? Because I was going to start going through all these guys, or you need to get going?
I got like 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, so we think Wilson's going to be difficult. Burrow, we think it's going to get done. It's just a matter of time. Now, the Higgins one is the toughest one. So I'll just say, do you guys think he gets extended before the start of the regular season this year?
Oh, you first.
I'm like 60-40 that they will. But it's really, really close. I think it will get done. I think they've shown the commitment to him. I think he loves the team and they love him. Like, you know, there's no disagreements. We don't have the quarterback. There's no, you know, tension or culture problems with the coach or front office. Like, everything's good on both sides. That's why I think at the end of the day, they'll get it done. We all know the reputation of this agent, but I don't know. Nothing other than gut feeling and that everybody's happy, and that's why I think it'll get done. I think he's an important part of their long-term plans. Go ahead, Greg.
Before the season, that might be a bit of a stretch, but I'll say this. I want to say the difference between him and Bates from all Geddes clients. Bates, we were all like, okay, Bates should be maybe top 15, top 10. There is no offense towards Bates. Great team leader. I miss him. I wish we could have gotten him back, but for not what he's making right now. I think we can all agree. He wanted to be like a top 3 paid safety. Like, he is no offense to Bates. He's nowhere out there near Derwin James. T. Higgins, we know he's a damn good receiver. We know T. Higgins is a top 10 receiver. This is why I think it's a little different and all that. We're fully committed with T. Now, still, it's going to be a big contract. But if you had to ask me, maybe this is me. A lot of people tell me that I live in a fantasy and all that. I don't come back to the real world. Greg. What's that?
You do.
I know.
Savage
Land. We love you for it.
All right.
Savage Land.
You know, I'm just going to go a bit higher than Joe. I'll go 70%, but that 30% could easily kick in and all that, you know?
Well, I'm not putting a percentage on it. I was just saying yes or no. So you guys are kind of copping out on me there.
Fine. Yes.
Percentages on
yes.
It.
Yes.
I'm going to go head versus heart. Heart, I want it to get done because I don't want it to drag into another year where it could get messy with Malagetta and everything else. Yeah. So I really, 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 really want it to get done, and I've been saying that. But I'm going to say it doesn't, and I'm going to say mainly it's because of that agent, and he's going to be like, well, look at this cunt, yeah. You know, and just some BS that.
What the?
I heard that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they were cutting, but it literally sounds like y'all outside, like my garage cutting shit. Like,
it sounds
what
like
the hell?
Or something.
I'm walk outside and like.
I heard it again.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like super loud.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna have to step out actually here in a second.
Well, I gotta drop, guys.
We're gonna
But
leave Greg all alone.
You're leaving me
I
all
know.
alone. I can do
You
this.
just talking savagely into
You
yourself.
don't have 1 minute so I can at least look out
Go ahead.
because I got to see what the hell.
Real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
So the only other thing I would say is, like, if we don't extend him this offseason, it's not the end of the world.
Mhm.
He's got one more year left on his deal.
Right.
We'll try to do it again this next offseason. And even then, we do have the option of a franchise tag. So at the very least, we got 3 years.
All right, it is at least across the road. Now they're putting the trees into like the wood chipper thing. So that's what.
Okay. I'm like, Dale, what the hell are you talking
I mean, there's a whole creek in between.
Right.
It's,
Okay.
it's not that loud
heard of
on
it.
our end. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of you got to block it out, because I could block it out.
Yeah. Was like the whole garage felt like it was shaking a minute ago. I'm like, what? Tripping
All right,
out.
I got to get going,
All right,
guys.
buddy. See
Yeah,
you. Thanks
love
for
you
getting the
guys.
show started. Love
Yeah,
you,
no
buddy.
problem. Bye.
All right. So we talked Higgins. Now, the rest of these are going to be guys going into their last year of their deal, or some. Well, it depends how much time we want to go. Some of these that are on 1-year deals in general. First up, a guy that we think is very important to this team, DJ Reader. So he's going into the last year of his deal, which sucks because I want him here at least for another couple years. But I just don't know. You start to run out of Burrow extension, Higgins, Wilson, Chase coming up. Some guys are going to get squeezed out.
You know what, Dale? On Rattler on the Natty back in December, we had Nicole Zembert on the show, and I asked her, besides Burrow, who is the most important player for the team moving forward? And I agree with this too. It was DJ Reader. That is.
He has been. He's been that important on the defense.
Yeah. You know what? So DJ Reader, that's your leader on your defense. That is a for sure guy. But I hear what you're saying, man. I mean, all this money's gonna be loading up. You got to cut the fat's got to be cut somewhere, right? You got to trim some, all that. And unfortunately, but I mean, that's another thing. Can you imagine if it had to come down between DJ Reader and Logan Wilson?
Exactly. And it very well could. Like,
you know what? If I had to pick, that's tough because DJ Reader's getting near his 30s.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. So July 1st, he'll turn 29, which means after he plays this season, he'll turn 30 before the next season comes around. We just saw what happened this year.
Yeah. And we've shied away from paying guys in their 30s. If you notice, when Zach Taylor and them came, because remember the last time when Marvin was here, we gave Gino and Dunlap both extensions when they were getting in their 30s, and that did not pan out well at all for either of them. They're like, we're not going down this route. We got to go get younger and all that, find these younger 25-year-olds out there and pay them. So, but DJ Reader, is that an exception? That's Dale. I didn't think about that. Now you got me upset now.
No, hey, listen. Here's the thing, okay? I would rather have this conversation now in this offseason because when the season starts, there were so many times people were talking about losing this guy or losing that guy. And I said, I don't want to talk about it because I'm focused on the season.
Right, exactly.
So if there's a time to talk about this, it's now, and it's at the end of the year next year. So I want to bring it up now just so we can touch on it.
Oh, no, Dale.
But it does. No, it makes me feel the same way, Greg, so trust me.
When the Bengals are going to the playoffs, make a super run, I had a buddy of mine randomly call me, hey, Greg, what do you think the Bengals should do in the draft for offensive lineman? I'm like, hey, get the hell out of here. We're in the playoffs right now.
You know, I keep up with the draft year round, so I could answer these things. And I was like, I'm not talking about it until we no longer play.
Remember, I was talking with you that one day. Then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, you want info? You get out your big thing. I'm like, oh, my God, Dale's been doing it. Already did all of his homework and all that. So,
yeah, but it's like, I'm not going to go on a show. I don't want to go on a show and talk. I want to talk about the game, the season.
Talk about now and all that.
It's it's bad juju for me to go on and talk about.
But Dale, in all seriousness, gosh, man, that's going to be a tough.
But the off season is the time to talk about the off season, even if the next thing, and it makes you thankful. It should make you thankful to be like, no matter what happens, I get to watch these guys this year. No matter what, these guys are on the roster for this year, so enjoy it this season.
Yeah, and you know what, Dale? You're a big fan of Mozzie Smith. I'm not trying to get in the draft here. You're a big fan of Mozzie Smith. I'm like, well, he's a nose tackle. We got Reader. Maybe if he's the best player, maybe that could be a replacement for it. You don't want to say. Nobody wants to say it or anything. I remember we drafted Whitworth. I'm like, no, we got Eric Steinbach. don't do this.
Yep.
Eric Steinbach left. We're same deal with Dax Hill last year.
Like, we got a lot of people in the chat saying they think that Reader stays, and I hope he does.
I hope you're right.
But I'm just saying, and then Kevin, we'll get to Tyler here in a minute. I got him written down too. But Greg, if you just had to say, do they get an extension or not for Reader beyond this season? It can be a gut feeling, whatever. I mean, you originally said yes, so.
But the whole 30 thing. But see, they value him as the Joe Burrow of that defense. They normally don't. Just for him, I'll make an exception. It's a barely yes.
I'm going to say no.
I don't blame saying that.
And I don't want to. But the money would have to be very favorable, I think, to the Bengals.
Right.
And for DJ, he deserves one more big contract.
No, everybody's like, oh, Hayden Hurst said he loves it here. The Bengals finally give him a chance. Guess what, Caroline? I don't blame. I mean, as much as I'd love to have Hayden Hurst, especially back now when they paid him $8 million a year for 3 years, I don't blame him.
That's the great unknown right now, Fiji, is what is DJ's market price? I don't know that. We probably won't know that till next year. But if he has another good season, I mean, Hargrave was 29.
Yeah.
And I know they're totally different players. Hargrave's pass rusher, DJ's more of a run stopper, but he can rush the pass too. Yeah, I just think those guys are so valuable. We know how much DJ Reader changed our team and our run defense and our whole defense. So that's that on the open market. I could see Reader getting $12 million a year for a couple years, $224. I don't know if the Bengals would go that high.
But Dale, remember when Reader got hurt? We noticed a big difference.
I know, Greg.
Losing games. We were losing. That's when we were losing a couple games here and there. When he came back, would you tell me if it was a coincidence? Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, those 2 games in a row, when Reader came back, we held them to less, like barely both together over 50 yards rushing.
Greg, I agree.
Coincidence.
I mean, I agree. These are the tough decisions that front office is going to have to make. And this is what it's like, I'm glad I'm not in there with those discussions.
But when Logan Wilson got that cheap deal, my original thought was, wow, we can probably get Logan Wilson cheaper. Like you said, Wilson.
Pratt got it, yeah.
Consistent and all that. But like you said, with Edmonds, along with Roquan Smith, Edmonds got that huge deal in Chicago.
Huge money.
But then when I saw we got Pratt back, I'm like, Pratt got this much? He was like the highest rated.
He got what, 7? He got 3 for 21. $7 million. Roquan got like $20 million.
Yeah.
So if Logan, I'm just saying, trying to fit Logan somewhere in there could be a problem because it's such a big gap.
But isn't this a better linebacker combo than Spikes and Simmons? Because I'm going to say yes immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I would say yeah.
I mean, I like Spikes Simmons.
Yeah, I was going to say they're really good.
Yeah,
man, that's got to be tough, Jolly, living in the KC area, being a Bengals fan. Good gosh. But yeah, I'd love to see DJ come back. That's just one I could see where he's going to be 30 coming on that next contract. But hey, if they could sign a 2-year extension, do it. He's a leader. Come to good terms. Now here's another one that I think everyone's more prepared for him to leave, but I don't know. I love him. Awuzie.
I mean, Dale, it's just I'm going to keep bringing this up all the time. I just remember my brother-in-law and his brother, and one's a Colts fan, one's a Bengals fan. They're saying, "Oh, the Bengals are stupid for not signing William Jackson," and we signed Awuzie, Hilton, and Apple. Dude, Awuzie, man, that was maybe one of the best bargain pieces we've signed of all time.
And Awuzie is 27. He's getting ready to turn 28 in May.
He's going to get paid.
So he's still got probably another good payday, and will that come from us? I think this draft will tell us more on that one, right? If they do, like some people say, go with like a first-round corner and you got CTB, then to me, that's like last year when they took Dax with Jesse. It's literally telling you that Awuzie's last year here. If we take a corner, even in the second round, if we take him as high as the second round, I think that means he's gone. Because Hilton still got 2 years on his deal as a slot corner, and CTB is on his rookie contract for 3 seasons currently. So,
no, that's another. I mean, like fans out there, you want Boyd and you want Chase and Hickett signed. That's cool, but
these are some of the guys that
You know, when I bought season tickets, I said to myself, I got to make sacrifices. I got to cut back on buying other stuff because I'm a season ticket holder now.
Porn. You got to cut back on porn.
Yeah.
You didn't cut back on porn.
Next question.
But okay, now if it's between Reader and Awuzie, I think I would go Reader at that point.
Yeah, because Awuzie is going to be way too. Corners can be way too expensive. I would still just look Reader, man. Like I know, he's that leader of that defense, man.
I may even go Reader over Wilson, even though he's going to be 30.
I would go. You know, now that I say, I would go Reader. That is your leader on your defense.
Now, obviously, we would love to keep all these guys, but we're
no. Let me ask you this: Wilson or Awuzie?
Once again, I think it's the money difference, right? If you can get Wilson for
Wilson, you get
$9 million a year, and Awuzie gets 18 or something.
That's an apples to oranges comparison right there in a way.
Yeah. So, and then the one that's also going to be tough for people, and I'm curious to see what his contract will be. So Tyler Boyd, he's been great here, great slot receiver, but we got two other receivers, can't really necessarily pay a third. But what's he going to get on the open market?
That's a great Dale. That is probably the biggest mystery of all. I mean, how old is he going to be after this year?
All right, let me look that one up. I should have been ahead of the game there, Greg. You caught me with my pants down. Did you at least like the view? When people always say a statement, it's kind of a weird statement, right?
I know. Yeah. You know, I'm used to it.
Oh, you caught me with my pants, like literally or figuratively?
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially when it was like Bill Clinton was president. It's like, oh, you got his pants. It's like, no, that shit was literal.
Yeah.
He was getting sucked off in the White House.
Yeah.
That happened. Oh, now I ain't going to get no service, Greg. You put me on the spot.
No, I think he's going to be like, what, 28 or 29?
That if I had to guess off the top of my head, 28 or 29 coming into this season.
Look how old Tyler Boyd is. He's 28. Ken said he's 28.
Okay. Thanks, Ken. Just now starting to pull up.
Yeah,
I'm blaming these people that are cutting stuff over here, messing with my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but so Dale, that's going to be a mystery. Unfortunately, these teams these days are so wide receiver hungry.
But if you looked at, I know Boyd on this market, I don't know where. Like no one really got paid. Like I know Juju did, but these are guys that are 25 and 26.
Yeah.
If after this year,
you're right.
I wonder if he's getting ready to turn 29. Then he's getting ready to turn 30. A receiver turning 30, that's a slot receiver, doesn't usually get like crazy amount of money. Well, maybe he would come back on another 1-year deal. Let's say, I hate to even say if the Bengals lost the heartbreaker in the Super Bowl again. God, I just stopped. Yeah. But if that happened, Boyd wouldn't want to come back for 1 year, $4 million or something to just be like, damn it, we got to finish this.
I remember we drafted Tyler Boyd. I remember who were those three receivers? We were going to take a receiver. It's going to be Will Fuller, Corey Coleman, and not Treadwell, even though he got picked before us. But all those receivers.
Dotson.
The second round, I wanted Michael Thomas so badly. I would have taken the first round and all that, and we didn't get him. Boyd was the last one there, and we got him.
He was the last of that top tier group of receivers, too. I was like, if they don't get Boyd, they're screwed after everybody was off the board. And they did get Boyd, so I was like, hell yeah.
Right.
You went and totally redeemed yourself.
Exactly. The knock on Boyd, though, Dale, is his speed sometimes. He is a great security blanket. He will make those big catches. Look, if there's one thing I hate doing, just comparing Madden to real life, but I could easily throw a slam pass to Boyd and he'd have an open lane, but Boyd would never have the breakaway speed like Tyreek Hill would or something to score a touchdown. But like I say, if we find that Michigan State receiver or whatever, we get in the third or fourth round, I would. That's
another one. This, we have this conversation now, and then we can revisit again after the draft and see what changes.
Yeah, but the draft will tell us a lot.
It'll start to tell, because if they have a guy that, like you said, like a Jaden Reed or somebody that can punt return and be a future slot guy, then that'll be like, oh, okay, probably not.
I do think we need to get. I know Chase has speed, but I do think we need to get faster at the receiver position. But at the same time, it depends on what Boyd's willing to come back for. But it just takes that one team to offer that money, just like that.
Now, this one should be an easy one. But Jonah Williams, because he's in his 5th-year option, but it's the last year of his deal. Now, let's say he stays and he plays right tackle and he plays it fairly well. I think then he gets paid, and we still, we just cut
We
it.
stuck let him go. I was messaging Parker Blake. He thinks he can actually exceed well at right tackle. But the point of your question, if he does stay here and play, I still think he's gone no matter what. But I just want to say to him, look, I mean, I don't want to get too into detail, Jonah, but like I say, he was shocked. Frank Pollock didn't know. None of the coaches didn't even know until like the last second. He was all shocked and all that. But, I hear a lot of people say, oh, that's not right. They don't inform the player. I'm like, it happens at a bunch of other jobs where they don't tell you till the last second, we have to let you go or something. That's what a business is.
Yeah, unfortunately, you usually don't get a warning when you're about to be fired.
No, you don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Does it suck? Sure, it would suck, but that happens at a bunch of other places and all that. That's just how it is. But if I'm Jonah, I could totally understand why Jonah's upset. I'm sure he's very heartbroken by it right now. But the fact of the matter is, for Dale, for me being a blue collar guy and $12 million a year, sorry that I'm not patting you on the back right now and all that and stuff, man. I mean, gosh dang it, man. You're still getting paid good money. I know that's naive of me to say and all that, but dude, just play right tackle. Like I say, give yourself time to calm down and all that.
Yeah, I'm always for the players getting their money and this and that, but this is a little different, right? This isn't like, hey, you're on the open market or
remember,
the Bengals are lowballing you. It's like they believed in you and they picked up your 5th-year option. They just got presented with an opportunity with Orlando Brown that they thought, okay, we can make left tackle better and right tackle better by moving you to right tackle and getting Orlando Brown, who's been to 4 straight Pro Bowls. You haven't, sir. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. And there's a report out there that other teams don't even view him as a tackle.
Correct.
I mean, at Alabama, I learned that he refused to play center. I remember Dave Lapham saying on his show, if he played center, he could maybe be the best center in the league. I still think he could be a top guard. My dream scenario is if we got DeJuan Jones and Jonas willing to move to left guard, that offensive line could be solidified easily right there.
This made me chuckle, so I wanted to share it. Jolly Air put, hold on, Orlando Brown. We need to talk with Jonah first before you sign on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, hold on. We might not want you.
No.
I got to make sure Jonah's feelings won't be hurt first.
Okay, that's all. That's not that close. That would be like saying to Andy Dalton, "Hey, Andy, we're going to talk with you first to make sure you're okay. Make sure it's okay with you that Joe Burrow's our quarterback." No, it doesn't work that way.
No. And I've not been a Jonah's trash. I know he had high sack numbers, but he's been an average. He's been an average. There's average. There's good. There's great.
Right.
There's elite. There's a lot of categories. He's average.
Dale, let's be honest. Let's truly be honest with ourselves. Before we even knew Orlando Brown was going to come in, were we all honestly deep down inside really okay with Jonah being left tackle going to the because we were worried about right tackle?
I was. As long as we improved right tackle.
Yeah, I was still.
And I wanted to improve right tackle in free agency, and then like an Anton Harrison who can play left or right, or if a Broderick Jones falls, you've got your left tackle of the future in this draft. And if needed, they beat Jonah out. They beat him out,
Yeah. Well, not to quote a certain person, because I know you're going to get mad at me too, but he threw out something out there from weeks 11 to 18. He had a great pass blocking grade and all that and stuff. And so, Santori. But I'm
not going to get mad at you, Greg. I just said you bring it up and it's fun.
Okay. No, I remember.
I don't get mad. I love Santori.
No, remember what Santori said? How would you like to have this left tackle from weeks 11 to 18 that did allow had a great pass blocking grade? I'm like, yeah, who is that? He's like, it's Jonas. So, and like I said, he was dealing with knee injuries. Unfortunately, you can't control injuries. We all know he's got a great work ethic. We got him, man. I didn't think he was going to be there when we were picking that year. So See,
I'm not a big filet mignon person. So can we just change it to like a general ass fucking T-bone ribeye steak?
Thank you, pork chop.
But yeah, that's what you're saying. It's a grilled cheese, right? Jonah Williams, grilled cheese.
That's it. And like I say, that is not a bad thing sometimes and all that. If you surround, but I mean, when I got a porterhouse steak coming in here and all that, man.
Give me the porterhouse steak.
Bye-bye. Hey, grilled cheese. Bye-bye.
Grilled cheese, I'll have you tomorrow. And if you ain't okay with that, I'll eat something else tomorrow. You're out of here, grilled cheese. Porterhouse
steak.
I'll trade you grilled cheese.
Like I say, grilled cheese, much love towards you and all that and stuff, man. But I'm sorry, when I got a humongous porterhouse steak coming in the door, I'm going with the porterhouse steak.
This is the greatest. This is the greatest statement of all time. Nothing personal, grilled cheese. I still love you.
Man, I gotta talk. I got to talk to Cincy Church, get this grilled cheese sandwich something made. I mean, this has got. This needs to be made into a shirt. Am I right?
You got to do something with it.
I got
still love you, grilled cheese. You just grilled cheese.
Yeah,
You
just
just
grilled.
mad.
I mean,
I'm
Dale,
sorry.
it literally occurred when I was taking a walk one day. I remember when I first met you in Bourbon, and I brought up that statement. You guys were like, man, that makes a lot of you guys. I didn't think it was going to be like this now. It still keep going. So I'm happy with that.
All right, got another name for you. This one could depend on Wilson too. Davis Gaither.
The funny thing is, I was hearing when he was the one they had a lot of high hopes for when Pratt leaves. He was the one that was supposed to fill in for Pratt. And let me tell you something. In the draft that year, when we got Burrow and Higgins, obviously besides those two, I was more excited we got Akeem Davis Gaither than Logan Wilson. Because Davis Gaither coming out of Appalachian State, he was like the totally opposite what Ray Malibu was. This guy could run both sides of the field. This guy could blitz. This guy, he's been really compared to Isaiah Simmons coming out of Clemson, who was a top 10 pick. They literally were saying he's literally just like Isaiah Simmons that you could get in the 4th round. I was jumping for joy when we got him.
I like the pick too. I was very high on him, but I was good with Logan Wilson because Daniel Jeremiah, right after Logan was drafted, said this could end up being the steal of the draft here in the 3rd. And he said, he reminds me of Luke Kuechly. And that is what Daniel Jeremiah said. I will never forget that because I was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm good.
No. I liked Logan Wilson too. I was a huge Logan Wilson fan. He was on my high list too and all that. I had him as just, another mid-round guy, I'm like, but when Daniel Jeremiah says something like that, it's like, okay, there's a reason Daniel Jeremiah is Daniel Jeremiah, and I'm just a dude who does this shit for fun. No, exactly. No, like I say, but Davis Gaither, though, man, I remember when we were playing Lamar that year, when we stomped the Ravens at Baltimore, they played a Akeem Davis Gaither. They would have people at the line of scrimmage, that people playing deep zone, but they would have Davis Gaither with all that speed guarding the midfield if Lamar ever got out of the pocket. And
he's great as a spy, for Lamar too.
He did so well. So Akeem Davis Gaither came in. I'm not going to pay. It's just so funny. Remember years ago, Hardy Nickerson. Who was that other guy? Hardy Nickerson. It was all those. We had like the worst linebacking core.
Oh, we just kept that, but then we also just kept trying to fill the middle linebacker role with 1-year deals there for a while, not too far long ago. Also, we just bring in like 1-year middle linebacker deal, 1-year middle linebacker deal, and it just never was working out. So Davis Gaither, just to give I think this one is too hard to give a yes or no. I think it depends on Wilson. Because in a way, he already got passed over. He would have got more run if Pratt would have left. But we're glad Pratt's back. But Davis Gaither, also being a good teammate, was one of the first people that was like, congratulations to Pratt, even though that probably meant little less opportunities for him this coming season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it will depend. Like if Wilson stays and Pratt's already here, I could see Davis Gaither going somewhere else if he's promised a bigger role.
Right, exactly. Ah, dang it. Eagles just signed Kadavius Street. God dang it.
I was hoping to get him for a deal.
I really wanted him. We were talking about him a day or two ago. The Eagles got him. Not surprised since they lost almost their whole defensive line. So they probably panicked to give him money. I saw.
They did. They didn't. They brought back. They lost Hargrave, but they still have the rest of their guys. They brought back pretty much everybody else. And now, but that should tell you the Eagles, who have a dominant line, wanted this guy too. So
yeah, that probably says a lot right there. He's probably thinking. But yeah, like I said though, King Davis Gaither though, I'm a big fan. Don't get me wrong. I was happy as hell we got Logan Wilson, man. I was so happy we got him too. But I was just a bigger fan of Akeem Davis Gaither. That's all.
Are you kind of with me though that it'll depend on opportunity?
Yeah.
If he's after this season, if he's still here.
Right.
Yeah. Well, next one. Now we're starting to get into like the lower levels, so we ain't got to spend a lot of time on this. But Trent Irwin.
Depends on what happens in the draft.
And this season.
But
Trent Taylor, I'll move on quickly with these. I think that'll be draft. Every year I keep writing this man off, and every year he's on this roster as our punt returner. So I shouldn't write him off.
Dale, you know who he reminds me of? Brandon Tate. Every year, I could not stand Brandon Tate. I'm like, if Brandon Tate makes the roster one more time, for like 5 years in a row, Brandon Tate barely made the roster. Am I right?
Yeah, Trent seems to have a little more surer hands than Brandon Tate, but he just doesn't. He's not going to. He
No.
don't have that. I would love to. I don't know. I guess we got spoiled when we had Pac-Man return punts half the time.
Right.
Oh gosh, he was electric.
Oh, dude, Pat, but you know what? I'm going to go back to Irwin quickly. Tell you what, he did step up, but he's just not that guy that I could see taking over Boyd. I'm sorry. It's just
I could see. Okay, let's just say he has another solid year, and then he's a free agent on the market.
yeah.
I see Bill Belichick being like, "This is going to get me back to winning. I need a Trenton Irwin," and signing him for a decent deal.
Right.
So I think no matter what, I mean, if he has a bad season, but I hope he balls out and gets a good pay. I just don't think it would be here if that's what happens.
Right.
And then Taylor, I'm not going to rule him out because he's always back, so just skip through that one. Michael Thomas is already like 43 years old, so I'm going to say he's not back, but once again, can't count him out. Just keeps coming back on one-year deals. And he's good veteran, good leader.
Whatever, you know how that goes.
Aussie, once again,
Oi.
I think that depends on the draft, right? How many guys do we draft? How does Irv Smith play?
I got a question for you. What, yes or no, do we double dip at tight end in the draft? Just flat out yes or no. No maybes, no 80%, 70, 60, just flat out.
It's a tough question because you don't know when they're going to take one, and then you don't know like when they take their first one. Because the first one's Michael Mayer in the first round, and you got Irv Smith, but still, it might be the best player available in another round.
But see, here's the thing. I remember Cincy James tweeted.
But you only have 7 picks, so when you double dip,
the thing with Irv Smith is, can he stay healthy? That's just the thing right there. We just don't know, man. I mean,
it depends how much they like Aussie, oi, for.
With you, man.
Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of times they'll keep 3 tight ends, plus they got the 2 practice squad guys already.
Now, let me ask you this. Is another tight end on your list you're about to talk about? Wilcox?
Irv Smith.
Okay, all right.
Irv Smith isn't on the team, though, like for 1 year.
Right.
I still think they could bring – that's the thing. If they bring Wilcox back, no, they're not going to double dip.
No.
But could they wait until the draft before bringing Wilcox back? Yes, because if the value's there, could they double dip? Yes. It's a good tight end class.
But in a way, I think people just ignored Wilcox when he filled in for Hayden Hurst. He did great in that Tampa Bay game. He did great.
Yeah. And I like Wilcox. I'm surprised he's still out there, but whatever works, let's see how the draft goes. Now, Irv Smith, this is one, like some of these are guys so Irv Smith, if he has a good season, you try to sign him because he's young, but if he has a great season, he's going to get paid like everybody else. And hopefully we have some guys ready to step in. So it's not like this. Hopefully we do have a guy or two from the draft, Greg, where it's like, okay, we're not just completely bringing in 1 year guy year after year.
Mm-hmm. No.
Let's have someone Burrow could get some chemistry with for 2 or 3 seasons even.
So to answer your question, do I think Aussie comes back? I'm going to say no. I don't think he does.
For one reason or another, right?
Yeah. But I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no on Irv Smith too.
Yeah. If it's Michael Mayer.
He's either going to be injured and they don't bring him back, or he's going to have a really damn good season and get paid elsewhere.
Yeah. But if we draft Michael Mayer in the first round, he's not coming back.
Yeah. Or see, I just think if we draft our first guy in like the 3rd round, that's when I see a double dip. We take one in the 3rd, boom, we take one right again in like the 4th.
Right.
Kind of like we did with Wilson and Davis Gaither.
Right, exactly. You just don't know, man. Like, one mock draft has Kalijah Cansey going to us, and I still don't believe he's going to be there, but what the hell do I know, Dale? So nobody.
Yeah, if he falls, I think everyone would be happy with that. That's why I'm like, probably not going to happen. I mean, and he's had a phenomenal pro day. Like,
yeah. Well, no. So
the man's stock has just been going
right.
All.
I watched Malik Wright and them did a mock draft yesterday, and this to me, I just don't think this would ever happen. They had Cansey in the first round, Tucker Kraft in the second round, who I still get scared. I think he should be there. The 3rd round, the Syracuse offensive lineman, which I do not think.
Bergeron, yeah.
No way. I don't think he's there in the 3rd round. I could be wrong, but If that happened, sign me up for that one, man.
Yeah, sign me up for that draft as well. I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's why you do these. You do the mock drafts.
Right.
You do this stuff because you don't know, man. People, every team has different board. Different.
Yeah.
Some people have somebody completely off their board for medicals and different things that we have no clue about too.
Right.
And that changes a lot of things.
No, I like to say I love Dalton Kincaid. I talked to James about this all the time. I love Dalton Kincaid, but if it wasn't for his back injuries, I may almost consider him over Mayer. But Tucker Kraft, I look at him right behind Michael Mayer. That's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people have him as the third or fourth best tight end.
Praise, Greg.
What?
I love it. I said it's high praise.
But no, Kraft is. If we got Tucker Kraft, that's another guy. Listen up, Bengals fans. We get Tucker Kraft, I will definitely run with my shirt off and all that. Also, keep that in mind.
And everybody's now rooting against getting Tucker Kraft.
Oh, come on!
You have now made Tucker Kraft the most hated man.
I'm standing my ground. You guys know me how I stand my ground. Home Alone 2, Die Hard. Zeke, Natty. I'll stand my ground. You all know me. So, Kraft Natty. Kraft Mac.
All right, man. I know that Crip's here. He's ripping a heater right now.
Yeah.
He probably wants us to transition into. I got some more names on here, but it's honestly, whatever.
Yeah.
We went through the biggest names.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I know Crip loves these mock drafts. So for Crip,
let's do it, man.
I think we're going to do a mock draft for Crip Keeper.
Let's do this. Let's do it for Crip.
Do the Crip Keeper. I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know.
That was a momentary lapse of judgment. I'd like to apologize to absolutely no one.
Right.
All right. So we got the screen up there. Stop my cam for a minute because Crip talked me into something.
Let's do this.
Maybe ripping a heater as well. Start this thing. See who's available after we pick.
No, I hate looking at it. I don't like to look till we've actually picked. Don't say the names or anything that are getting picked. I know.
Come on now. You can take all the fun out of everything.
I'm not listening.
Casey's gone. I've seen that. Bijan's gone. Oh, even Avila went. That's been
oh, wow.
That's been Parker Blake's guy. Shit.
Wow. No,
I
don't
would consider this
don't
trade.
Don't help out Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, you
Oh,
want Will Levis as our new quarterback?
Yeah, Brian Branch. No, I'm not taking a safety. Michael, but keep
Darnell Wright and Michael Mayer, the great debate, baby.
Oh man, why Michael Mayer versus Darnell Wright again? Just scroll down a little bit. Antoine Harrison, I don't know why he should even be considered because we need a right tackle. We have our left tackle. I know Pork Chop.
I mean, to me, it's between two. I could go and look at all the other positions, but is it really even?
No, because we know Cansey's gone. I guarantee you this: we took Darnell Washington, Pork Chop probably donated $100 to the show.
Hey, I do like money.
Yeah,
because I don't make it near enough.
Exactly, me neither. So I don't know. Ringo, what's your take on Ringo? Is he worth a first-round pick?
I'm not a huge fan of him. I trust that if Lou got his hands on him, he could make him a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But I don't love him. I don't. There's Mozzie as the next best D tackle.
Your buddy.
And a lot of people are high on Forbes, man. He's thin, but he's a playmaker.
6'2", right? So tell me about why he should be a first-round pick. Okay?
He's a playmaker, and he's not afraid to tackle. Size-wise, he's going to get tossed around a little just because he's small. DeJuan Jones also still here, by the way.
Yeah, Dale, as much as I don't want to talk about this, it's going to come down to Darnell Wright and Michael Mayer. So let's just look at the logics here. Darnell Wright, the thing that just kind of –
Poor Chop said.
All right, let's do this. Darnell Washington. I should have said 1,000 or 1,000,000, Dale.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could have gotten 1,000,000. I really could have. But, Dale, so I think about this. I know people are saying they're going to be tight ends, but, Dale, this just scares the hell out of me. You know how easy it is? A runoff could be on tight ends, could easily be made. And then we're like, what the hell now do we do?
Well, to me, it's almost better now to have this conversation than it has been because.
You know what, Dale? Let's pick Darnell Wright. I just want to see what happens in the second round.
I just said now it'd be good to have this conversation, and you said, "Oh hell with it, let's just pick somebody." Damn, Greg, calm down.
Let's keep talking. Okay.
All right. So the thing is, We did bring in Irv Smith. I do think he's capable of being your number one tight end for a season.
Yes.
I really do.
Correct.
So, Jonah, we still don't know about him at right tackle. And if we take a Darnell Wright and he's plug and play at right tackle, that means we can trade Jonah and get more draft capital to draft another position.
But Dale, we're not
double dip at tight end later in the draft.
But Dale, what if it's like for a 5th round pick? I'm not doing that.
Okay, give me a 3rd or 4th, and I take 2 tight ends in this draft. Somebody will.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I tried to sell it, Tony.
Somebody that missed on their offensive tackle already in this first round of this draft.
Yeah, Dale. But is DeJuan Jones? Did he get taken?
Still on the board.
I mean,
offensive tackles, he's still on there.
I personally like DeJuan Jones, but I think Darnell Wright would. I'm trying to think this, man. The thing is, I don't want to take a tight end just because I have to. But Michael Mayer, though, in a lot of mock drafts, he's been taken like at 15 or 20. You could still take by need and have be the best player available, you know?
I know, but if Irv Smith's going to be like the man in year 1, and I think he could, he wants paid. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be very good in this offense.
Want to keep taking a bunch of 1-year flyers on tight ends?
Why don't you just have some faith in me here, Greg? That we're going to pick. We are going to double down. We are going to double down, sir, at tight end later in this draft.
Okay, you know what? We will. Let's take Darnell Wright. I will cave in. Yeah, let's take Darnell Wright. There we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Right.
Let's do
this. We
did
it, boys. We got a right tackle for 10 years. We got a left tackle for at least 3 or 4.
There we go.
Locked in. Lock it in, baby.
All right. Okay, how about you just go to the Bengals already? Not at you, the computer. Okay. No, just tell them to mess up and tell them to screw off. No. Anton Johnson. Oh,
no. And Bergeron's there, who I would have considered.
Yeah. Let's see. There you go, Dale. There you go.
It's all right, Greg. I like the depth of the tight end class. I'm not going to panic.
Click on the tight ends right now.
I like Joe Tippmann as interior offensive line depth.
I don't care.
I'm going to protect Joe Burrow at all costs. I'm going to draft all offensive linemen.
Tucker Kraft, don't think about it. I like Shoemaker, though. I do like Shoemaker. Just take Tucker Kraft.
Okay. Let's look around.
We're not looking. There's no looking. This is what you do, Dale.
Does anybody want to come on and be rational for one of these mock drafts sometime?
It's okay, Dale. Let's look.
Julius Brents.
He's
really
good.
like 6'3".
You're high on him, yes.
See, running backs now. I like a chain, but if Charbonnet's gone, Charbonnet would have been in the conversation.
Oh, is he? Now, what about that Israel guy, dude? He could be a 2nd-round pick now with the.
Well, he's not on here. He's not close to that, so we can still keep cheating the system,
dude. Because I was gonna say he may have just worked himself in the 2nd.
Yeah, round. He had a great pro day.
I know you, and a lot of people were very high on him. So
to me, it comes down to Tucker Kraft and Julius Brents.
Yeah. Okay. Let's think this logically. 2nd-round corners we've done great with. I mean, you can never have enough corners, but don't we want guys that can contribute immediately? Or I don't know.
I do, Greg, in the first 2 rounds. I do, because we have had look at Cam Taylor-Britt's 2nd-round pick.
And I tell you what, Cam Taylor-Britt, man.
You know what? And if Irv does get hurt halfway through the season, you had half a season, getting Tucker Kraft up to speed.
Yeah. So, all right, let's be rational, because you were Dale. I remember even when Julius Brents was ranked as a low corner, you were so high on him.
I was, but we did bring in Sidney Jones, and I'm high on him as a 26-year-old that gets in Lou's system that can be a good cover guy.
And you know what, Dale? I still think we can get Eli Apple back. You know what the Bengals saying to Apple? Go right ahead. Tell us you see your market. We'll be here waiting for you.
That's a good question, man. Chris said, would you take him in a 2nd? I think I'd go with Hidden Voices. I think 3rd's there. I don't think I'd take a running back period in like the 2nd round unless, let's say, Gibbs fell to the 2nd round. Okay, sign me up. Charbonnet, I'd even have a tough time taking at the end of the 2nd, but I wouldn't hate it.
Right.
But beyond that, those like, and Bijan, I think he definitely ain't making it to 60.
Right. No.
So
Well, Dale,
beyond those three, I think I'd rather wait till the third or fourth round for a running back.
a lot of experts have been linking Charbonnet to us. They just keep saying Charbonnet fits the Bengals because he can do everything. So Charbonnet, it's either Charbonnet.
Well, he is similar to Mixon. You just be getting a cheaper Mixon, honestly.
Okay.
He's not a big pass blocker. He's not a this and that, but
right. Okay. Well, no. Okay. So Dale, I think can we agree it's still down to Kraft and Brent's.
Yeah, and I just
I get nervous.
If it wasn't for Sidney Jones signing, I would take Brent. But we did sign Sidney Jones, and Irv Smith with the 1-year deal. I know Sidney Jones too, and Awuzie also, but we got Cam Taylor, Britt Hilton.
Let me ask
Alan George, Jalen Davis.
If Eli Apple signs before the draft, would you take Tucker Kraft immediately?
Oh, yeah. It would be a much easier conversation here.
Be honest with you, Dale. Like I say, Tucker Kraft. The more and more I hear from him, the only downside is he went to a small school. I don't even know what South Dakota State, something like called the Jackrabbits or something. Or
yeah. Well, here's the thing. I have him rated higher than Laporta.
Yeah.
So, and I've taken Laporta a lot. So why wouldn't I take Kraft? Now, somebody wanted me to look at edge. Derek Hall. I like Derek Hall. I like Zach Harrison. Andre Carter needs to bulk up some.
Andre Carter, I'm a big fan of Dale.
I really like Zach Harrison because I think you could put him in at 3 tech and not skip a beat.
Yeah, because Dale, Ohio State's pass rushing, the reason why I'm ignoring Harrison is Ohio State's pass rushing was just not good. You guys did not have that Bosa to Chase Young type of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to be that edge like those guys are, but he is huge.
Is he like
he's like 6'6"? He's like 6'6", Greg, and he runs like a 4.5 40.
Could he be like a Sam Hubbard type of guy? You could move him around. Creative.
Yes, he played inside quite a bit at Ohio State.
Okay. You're okay. So,
but that's the reason he would be in my conversation.
Right. Okay.
But I still go back, and Antonio Johnson here stands out. Best player on the board, safety. Your safety depth will be solved. And if the guy that they brought in doesn't pan out, Antonio Johnson's going to be really damn good.
All right. Yeah, and Jesse Bates was the second-round safety. So
I mean, they got him ranked 44th overall. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy.
Deal, man.
Let's go crazy. Antonio Johnson, safety. Safety depth solved for years.
Man, Dale, now, I'm really, really, really scared about this, man. But
I know, because Tucker Kraft's gone. I get it.
Yeah, but Dale, my heart's broken. So
Tucker Kraft's not gone yet. So,
is Tucker Kraft still there?
He's still there.
What the hell?
And a chain at running back, I would consider.
Dale,
but,
no.
This is pretty much a no-brainer, right?
Yeah. How the hell is he still there?
Greg, he is, okay?
Just take him. Dale, this is why you don't listen to me.
Scott. Sometimes you got to roll the dice, Greg. You take the best.
You're right.
The best player available sometimes, and that's what Antonio Johnson was.
Dude, Dale, you have every right to tell me to shut the hell up for the rest.
Well, you got 2 new guys at safety, right?
Right.
So why not bring in a third guy and then battle it out for who fucking starts?
But Dale, we also used a 3 safety formation too. I still thought we could have signed Rapp and all that. We use a lot of 3 safeties at times.
But I'm not gonna mess around with this one.
Thank you, Dale. Don't stick your hand in the shark's tank again. You're eventually.
It's easily Tucker Kraft. And yes, I agree. That
yes, thank you.
I could easily see him going the second to the Bengals for sure. I mean, we literally sat there and was about to make that pick.
When I saw him there, I was just stunned.
Now, this is where I really like a running back.
Tajay. Now,
but we don't have any D-line, but I don't love the D-line that's left.
We got to keep looking. You're right. I'm ready.
Edge. I like KJ Henry.
Tell me about him. What does he do well?
He had his best season. I think he had 6 sacks for Clemson this year. He was like a 5-star recruit and never really broke out. And then he finally had his best season this year. And they have Miles Murphy, who's supposed to be like a top 15 guy. But some people think Henry will be a better pro. And honestly, there's something weird with Clemson. Like the guys that go later, like a DJ Reader, the other D tackle for the Saints, not the Saints, the Falcons. Grady Jarrett, all those guys that have gone later for Clemson have end up having better careers than their early round guys.
Right.
The early round guys like Cleveland Farrells and different people, they've struggled. So it's a weird thing, but I do like KJ Henry, but I don't think.
But if Dale,
I would take him here. If we look at Jalen Jones at corner C, that's wow. 4th round, we got some good options on the board.
Tyjae Spears, man,
that's what I was going to say. I really like Chase Brown, Roshan Johnson, Izzy's on the board.
Tell me about Chase Brown. What does he bring to the table?
Good at everything, productive at Illinois. He's a willing pass blocker. He tested well. His brother Sidney Brown's the safety that Derek likes.
Okay.
So he would be a very, very solid pick here in the 4th round, and probably more realistic, honestly, than Spears or Ebanaconda. I think both those guys will be gone by the end of the 4th, but they're both here now. We take Izzy a lot,
dude. Wait, do you think he'll be there next round? Because if he is, I'll take him.
I do, but we've done that so many times, and in real life, especially when he just tested, they need to update this thing. Izzy is not going to be here at 136.
No, let's just take him.
No, well, I honestly think he would have went in the 3rd.
Right.
But I'm not going to take him here. I'm going to take Spears. Spears maybe falls because I could see people falling in love with Izzy earlier.
Yeah.
But I have Spears on my board rated 1 spot ahead of Ebanaconda.
Okay.
I have both guys as like early 3rd round picks. Right.
Well, let's do this, man. If you want to take a running back, are you ready to, or you want to keep looking? Oh, too late.
I'm taking Spears because he's good at everything. When we looked at the PFF grades, he was a good pass blocker and he was a good pass catcher and he's a good runner. He balled out against USC in the bowl game. Production's there. He checks every single box for me. Whereas Izzy, I love Izzy. Don't get me wrong. Speed, this, that, and the other. He's not been a blocker. He's not been known to catch the ball. Now he's still going to be a damn good running back because if you can run, you can run. And he's 20 years old, and he's big and fast. He's going to be a good running back. No, and he's still on the board. I would double dip at that point in real life.
I don't blame.
Now we got like Jarrett Patterson, KJ Henry, Jacorian Bennett at corner. We haven't taken a corner.
Oh, he's a safety. How about this guy, Kobe Turner? He pops up in a lot of later round mocks for me too.
Let me see what I have written for him. Some of these guys I can remember off the top of my head, but he's one that's more like, I scouted him and then just kind of moved on. I don't take him a lot. I know he's decent. Where do I have him even rated? That is the question, Gregory.
Take your time, bud.
6'3", 290, powerful hand, strong core, high motor, strong finisher. Problems with athleticism and movement, burst off the line, quickness. See, that's why I think like he's always there, and I don't take him because I want more of a dynamic pass rusher.
Yeah, dude, athleticism.
So that's not what I watched.
That's something the Bengals value a lot is athleticism. So I don't see that as a fit. But this kid, Bennett, you talk about athleticism. That kid didn't even run like a fast 40.
Oh, yeah. He ran in the 4.3s. Him and Banks is going in the 1st round, and here's this guy available in the 5th on this one. I have him as a 4th round guy.
We value, and the Bengals value speed at corner. That'd be a good pick right there is that guy.
Man, I love to even hear Spears equals James Brooks. Man,
yeah, I'm cool with that too, man. But Bennett, man, he fits the mold what they look for. They want a speedy corner.
He does. We'll see. Let's just look around. So, yeah, he's by far and away the best corner I've got left.
Yaya Disby. I was told about Yaya Disby. I've heard some good things.
Both those guys tested well, both the Louisville guys.
Okay.
Tight end, Davis Allen.
Go to corner.
Mallory, Strange, Willis. There's a lot of tight ends I'm still solid with here.
Click on corner.
I want to go Trey. Man, I'm a huge fan of Trey Palmer as a slot guy and potential returner.
Oh, he could.
But corner, yeah. I just think Bennett makes sense.
Let's go back to tight end. I want to look at tight end again.
Okay, I didn't see these pro day numbers, so I want to mention them. Carrington Valentine from Kentucky. Yeah, another guy. I've got him honestly about 2 spots ranked below Bennett.
No,
4.36. Wow.
Malik Wright was just going off on him last night. Like he thinks he could be an upcoming steal and all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's definitely
James. We know Cincy James will
rise.
be okay with that. Him being from UK.
But I'm going to go Bennett in this draft. But if you told me Valentine in real life was the pick here in the 5th, I would be ecstatic with that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm cool with this. Yeah. Man, all A's so far, Dale. We're doing good, buddy. But I appreciate you stopping me at times because I'm ready to get – it's like I go to a candy store. I'm like, oh, let's get this. Like, wait a minute now. Let's look around. So you're stopping.
Yeah, I really like Trey Palmer there as well. That one hurt me a little bit.
I get you, buddy.
Because, I just think he's a dynamic punt returner, and I think he's got so much untapped potential. Plus, he's from Nebraska, which is Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor would be all over that. Now, I don't think we need any linebackers, but damn, Ventrell Miller would be great 6th-round pick.
Tell me about Davis Allen, tight end out of Clemson.
Man, good at high-pointing the ball, fairly productive. Just a lot to like about him. Tested decent, better than I thought he would, really. This will probably break our streak of A's, but I'm 100% on board with taking him as our double dip. Kraft, Allen, and then Irv Smith. I mean, you feel a lot better about the tight end room at that point.
And this is where you said you double you. And if we went tight end 3rd round,
I like Brenton Strange. I like Braden Willis too. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's guys I like.
Right.
Still,
let's go to running backs. I want to go to running backs quickly.
D-line, we have just missed on D-line, and that
guy, we have. We got to take a look.
Lacey isn't bad, so I'll say that.
Is he worth taking over Allen though?
Running backs, nothing I love.
Dude, let's go to running backs. James's buddy, Rodriguez, man. What is your take on Rodriguez?
He's a bruiser. He's more 2-down back. Get you the tough yards. Nothing spectacular, but
Cameron Peoples, I'm a big fan of him out of Appalachian State. He's just a big dude and all that, but I don't know.
Yeah, Greg, I think here, I don't know, double down on our tight end. Go ahead and get Allen.
Let's do this, man.
He's rated 174. We're getting him at 206, according to this. B+. See, I told you it's going to run our streak of A's. They hate the tight ends.
Best player on the board, though, man. Why would we get? I don't get that, man.
I know, Greg. But yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's see what we have left here. Make this count. Should we go punter?
Not a lot left. We could take Rodriguez if you want to double dip at running back.
But let's make our buddy Cincy James happy.
There we go with another B+. It's all right. The real meat and potatoes in them first 5 rounds.
Yep.
So
I'm happy with the deal.
Greg, recap it. I gotta check on my dog.
Okay, so 1st round we went Darnell Wright, gives us a right tackle in the future. 2nd round, I was not expecting this. I told Dale I wanted Tucker Kraft. Dale said, Greg, sometimes you gotta take a gamble. This guy, Anton Johnson, you gotta think about this. He's a safety. Yes, we have 2 young safeties, but you add another safety in the room, bring some competition in. And I kept telling Dale, no, I'm not for that, but he was the best player on the board, and guess what? We took the best player on the board, and I was just stunned Tucker Kraft was there in the 3rd round. I will tell you all, I would take Tucker Kraft in the 2nd round and think that's a steal and all that. The fact that I'm going to tell you all this right now. There's no way I see Tucker Kraft in the last in the 3rd round, in the last of the 3rd round. I just don't see that happening at all. But obviously he was there. Tyjae Spears, been a huge fan of him everything I hear about him. Great player all around. Bennett fits. He's that speedster that we need and all. And after that, with Davis Allen, gives us another tight end in the room. Big another great pick. And of course, we took Cincy James's guy, Chris Rodriguez, big time bruiser that would go on well with Tyjae Spears. If we had this draft, Dale, I give this an A+.
Yeah, I like that. I like what Keith said here too. Brenton Cox, he ended up not finishing the season with Florida. But if you actually just, he's had some issues, off-field stuff, but if you just watch him as an on-field person, my gosh, if he's there in the 6th round, which I think he just was, yeah, that really should be a consideration. They've just built such a culture, though, that sometimes I'm like, okay, would they actually take these guys or not?
Right. Right. Exactly. But like I say, man, we just don't know. But Tucker Kraft, I just guarantee you, man, like I was telling the listener while you were gone, if we got him the second round, I almost consider that a steal. I'm telling you, man, I almost wonder if we would do what we did last year. I mean, last year, I think we were all shocked we traded up to get Cam Taylor-Britt, but we just didn't want to take that chance because we never trade up. And most of the time we trade up, Russell Bodine, that one tight end we got one year. But that's fine. But Cam Taylor-Britt panned out so well for it. And we needed Cam Taylor-Britt this year too also.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I think that was a good mock. I love doing these just because like it's fun to mix it up. It's fun to see who's there. It's fun to talk about the potential decisions. Everybody does mock drafts. They're meant to be fun, people.
But Dale, you just taught me something now. You taught me, look, Greg, you can't just go for that one thing in the candy store. You got to look around first till you make your decision. It could still be that candy you want, but that doesn't mean there could be other good ones to pick.
It's fair, Greg. I didn't even say all that, but thank you for making it sound like I said a lot more cooler stuff.
Well, you were kind of saying, gosh dang it, man, Greg, can I have someone on here that's a little bit more rational? I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to calm down. I need to say, hey.
Well, I shouldn't have said rational. I should have said more patient.
Patient, yeah. No, I understand.
But I should have said.
But no, Dale, this is why I'm not in the war. If you imagine me in the Bengals war room, they're like, get that.
You're just yelling in Mike Brown's face and Zach Taylor's face.
Take that, please. No.
You stupid mother.
I would go full sandwich, but they'd be like, oh, okay. You need to go get they're like, Greg, go get you some bourbon or something.
Yeah. You're like, you take Wiley or you're the dumbest son of a bitch alive. And they're like, bro, you're fired. Okay. We write your checks.
I think isn't their draft board already set up already? You don't like I forget when they say their draft board is usually set up. I think it's already set up, isn't it?
They still have discussions a lot of times, and then they reset it. So, then they'll reset it after a round, and
right. They'll reset it. Or if an injury happens the last second, they've
got a good idea of where they have guys placed, and it's not going to change based off anything that happens.
No, exactly. It's like in the movie Draft Day when he keeps that little thing in his pocket, Vontae Mack, no matter what, and all that.
Yeah.
But
and I've heard and read, obviously I've never been fortunate enough to be able to be in a draft room. That would be a freaking dream. But and I wish they would release draft boards, even if it's been 10 years, a 10-year, and I could see a team's actual that would I would love that so much. That would be the coolest thing to me.
Because Duke Tobin said one year, they asked him, Lindsey Patterson asked him a question, what is one player in the draft you wanted but just didn't fall to you guys? And that year when we drafted, what was the dude from Estonia? What was his name? Martin. They said they wanted the Honey Badger so badly and all that. I wanted to take the Honey Badger.
We all wanted the Honey Badger. I remember my brother especially. He was like, oh.
No, and Duke Tobin said we wanted the Honey Badger so badly and all that.
And they took Gio. Remember, that's when they had the extra second-round pick from the Palmer trade. So
yeah, exactly.
They took Gio in the early second, and then he was the next second. They could have had Gio and
oh, dude, I wanted the
Greg. Why did you tell me this?
Well, no, I told people at work, but they were going to hold this against me. I would have gotten the Honey Badger hairdo and all that and stuff if that would have happened.
Bro, are you even capable of getting a Honey Badger haircut?
I probably couldn't have done it, man. But they would have held it really against me if that happened.
Greg, I love doing these early shows. It's like our buddy Jeff. He's got a little vacation time, so I think he was going to be driving. He might still hop in every now and again on some of these over the next week.
Jeff, man, he always finds time. Old Jeff does.
But yeah, he said he loves doing these 3:30 shows because
I love it.
He don't have to prep anything.
No,
we don't have to read anything. He don't have to try to.
No, I mean, Dale. I every time I get home from work, I go home, take a shower, I speed through traffic. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
Well, I had that meeting today, so I was running a little late, but I wasn't too far behind. I was glad Joe was able to hop on and get it because I wasn't going to set one at all, and then I asked Joe. I'm like, hey, would you be available to hop on that way if I am late? Because I'm like, I should be cutting it close, even knowing it was probably going to run over. It did run over, but
Dale, anytime I get to do these 3:30 shows, this is just so awesome, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, buddy. It's fun, man, and you bring the passion and the energy, Greg. That's what we love you.
Dale.
Don't ever change that when I say be more patient. That about a mock draft. No, man, that's what makes you you, and it's what makes people love you, man.
I get excited, like Dale.
You're
years,
passionate.
I get excited with the NFL draft. To me, I get excited more than I do on Christmas.
I'm telling you, the draft is like my Christmas for sure.
Yes.
And when you're older, like you don't get anything. Like I'm married 2 kids. I ain't getting nothing on Christmas Day.
Exactly, and all that and stuff. Well, I mean, I got to sign Joe Burrow football.
I mean, you're still getting Christmas gifts. I mean,
yes, but still, I still look forward to the draft like you guys. Like I just can't. Like the draft gets more viewers than the World Series and the NBA Finals, and that even shocks me for a guy who's so into the draft.
But yeah, man, I appreciate that you guys like the 3:30 shows, man. Jerry, I appreciate that. Because I mean, I'll try to keep them going, and that's what I've been thinking. Like, okay, when the season starts, that could be a fun thing to do during the season. Dude, whether
sign me up, man.
Yeah, man. It sounds like a good time. And that's like, I mean, I've got Gregor here. Jeff can usually do them. Coach Cam, which he was maybe going to hop on, but he didn't. I know he's a Monday through Wednesdays usually work for him. So,
right.
We got a nice little crew to help me do it. And as long as you guys are tuning in and chatting with us, we'll keep trying to crank them out. I can't promise every day of the week, especially after the draft. Probably scale down a little, but if we could do these 2 or 3 days a week,
Dale,
this pretty cool.
I just can't thank you enough for this is just an honor just to be on this show, man. Thank you so much.
Dude, it's just, hey, Derek gave me a shot to be on the show with him. That's pretty freaking cool. So,
yeah.
All right, Foxy. Yeah, we'll get Foxy. Foxy wants to hop on a mock draft. So we'll kind of say our schedule for Bengals and Brews, because this will go along with it, is so tonight we got 3/4 of Tigers talk. Jess is at opening day, so she won't be on with us. I think Joe's going to be on with me too. That's at 7:00 tonight. We're going to talk breakout candidates is kind of the topic I've got. So, and maybe we'll touch on that tomorrow if we do one of these, Greg, at 3:30.
Awesome.
We'll touch on some. I'll get your opinion as well for tomorrow. But so that's tonight. And then tomorrow we'll probably do a 3:30 show. And then also tomorrow night, a lot of shows coming up. Tomorrow night is Evan McPhillips. Evan McPhillips, who is part of Malik's network, and they just had a mock draft. He's going to come on. We're just going to talk draft and general Bengals talk. He asked me today any certain people to look up. I said, dude, you know your stuff. Just come on. I mean, half the time we let the chat guide the weekend shows especially. So that'll be fun. And then special Saturday episode, mock draft with myself, Parker Blake, and draft guy Jared.
Oh, man.
We are going to do the whole first round of the draft. We're going to each pick. I volunteered. I'll go third. I'll pick the third team. And I don't know which one of them's picking first or second. We still got to figure that out. Mm-hmm. But we're going to pick each third pick. And we're going to write down and see who got the most. And we'll have some bragging rights, hopefully, after the draft. Who got the most picks correct for the different teams and things like that.
If you beat Parker, send him a thing of Nutter Butters. You'll know why.
Well, Parker's my dude, man. I've been sending him my draft stuff, and he'll give me his opinion, and then he'll send me his stuff, and I'll be like,
No. So, Dale, I tweeted something out. One has to go forever between.
I seen it the other day.
He doesn't like Nutter Butters and all that.
That conversation was going too wild, Greg. I didn't even get into it.
Dale, I love having these.
I had 30 missed messages on my Dale Waltman account.
I don't even expect any of you to respond, but all of a sudden it's like there's like a war going on and all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I just think it's hilarious, though. It's awesome. Over Nutter Butters.
It's fun, man. That's the thing. Life should be fun. This stuff should be fun. Twitter should be fun. Talking Bengals should be fun.
I love to argue. I love having fun disagreeing because that's what makes it fun, man.
Yeah, but you know it's not trying to downsize anyone else. That's the problem I have when it becomes like you're almost like your opinion's stupid if you don't agree with me. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the best opinion all the time. I'm wrong a lot. Like,
Dale, I don't have the best opinion either, man. But you know what? If I disagree with other people's opinions, that's their opinion, man. And at the end of the day, man, everybody should just respect one another. Just be good with everybody. That's all.
I agree, man. But, football season starts. Bengals, everybody gets back along again too. So,
Dude, absolutely, dude, Dale. When we all win that, here's the
uh-oh. Jerome had to get you fired up before we get off here.
What? Jerome? Oh, dude, come on, man. You and I are on good terms, and you got to put this at me, Jerome? What the hell?
I agree, Ken, man. It's been a blessing for me to, find all the group of people in chat included, that people that hop on the shows. I feel like I know you, even some of you I met, some of you I haven't.
Hey, Jerome.
It's been awesome.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't know either, Pork Chop. I don't know what that one is.
Pork Chop, Jerome, you see Jerome just everywhere. Jerome, man, even though I have my disagreements with you on this, you're the man, Jerome. Thank you so much for your supporting everybody else's shows. You support everybody. Thank you so much, Jerome.
Hey, Jerome comes hangs out with us in lot 1.
Yeah,
I mean, that man bounces around everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
We did that, Greg. I'm like,
that's right.
almost missed Angelo Dawkins because we were bouncing around. That's why I'm like, see, that's why I stay in one spot.
Right. Well, with me, man, I'll run around and hug everybody. One day you were like with me, like, Greg, you're running around like a little chicken and all that.
That's a chicken with your head cut off, man. You're like a chicken with your head cut off.
I know exactly. I was like Dale, man, I've been saying hi to this. It's just cool to run into everybody, man, that you see on social media. It's just so cool, man. Everybody gathering up in one place.
Yeah. But that's why I like to stay in lot 1 because I'm like, all right, bam, we're here. If anybody wants to stop by, I don't have to run around and try to be looking. It's like, here we are.
Right.
We got our drinks in the cooler and we're just chilling, man. And I think this year we'll probably try to cook a little more food and things like that, especially if James gets his tickets. And, we got like a little base of people. We can all bring stuff and just, it's a community. We don't need no name for we are just hanging out. We don't need a name for it. We're not trying to compete with anybody. No. It's just dudes hanging out.
No, and you know what?
Some drinks and cheering on the Bengals.
And you and I go around other tailgates. So it's fun to go tailgate hopping because you get to see a variety of tailgates.
So many great ones. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I just don't want to name one because I don't want anybody to think we're trying to compete or anything.
But it's fun to visit other tailgates. It's fun to visit everybody's tailgates because everybody has a unique tailgate and all that. That's what makes it great and all that.
I would like to go to more of them. We were going to do that last year with the brew getting thing, and it was just the service was so bad down there. It wasn't.
Right.
We did one episode and it was like, I'm not doing this. But I wanted to hit different ones and feature different ones. Yeah.
But literally one of the best days of my life was when I finally found out I was a season ticket holder, man, because I went to every game last year, but I would literally find out the last second. I had a question, I couldn't go to a game. Then the last second I got offered a ticket. I'm like, I'm in my car, but it's just so nice now. I don't have to worry about, am I going to go to this game the last second? It's just such a blessing.
Yeah, man. Well, Gregory, hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too, but hey, tell all the ladies from Tiger Stock I said hi. Can't wait for them to do another show.
I mean, somebody's got to take our picture tonight, Greg.
Well, no. I know Whit I get in a lot of trouble with. Every time, if I had to pick one person I always got in trouble with the Luther Vision shot, it's always Whit and all that and stuff. And I know Whit's gotten mad at me. So I will make sure to post you.
That's just Whit, man. Whit is like the female me, where she will bust your balls and say things that she probably shouldn't say. No, and then it's but I'm not meaning any. I'm just kind of I I'm like, oh shit, people actually got mad.
No, Whit. I know Whit, but still, I will do it. No, because it was Tiger's Talk. It was their idea to do the Luther Vision shot and all that, and that's when I started doing for every other show. So, yeah, absolutely. Tell all of them I said hi tonight.
Well, you'll be chatting.
I'll be in the chat. Yeah, I'll be in the chat. Yeah, but I'll give you all a warning when Luther Vision's coming. I promise.
I'll get naked. I'm not getting naked.
There you go.
That wasn't. And I've joked about. God, I said some. If there's a way to cancel a podcast that made $0 million, this one would have been canceled a long time ago. I can promise you that.
Exactly. But yeah, man, dude, like I say, go back and say, man, all these 3:30 shows have just been so awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, oh man, it gives me something to do, getting all straight from work before Marissa gets off work. She can't yell at me then, I ain't got worried about her coming down here yelling at me if she ain't home yet.
Well, dude, a lot of times
she'll yell at me later, but
I'll go home and take a nap, and I'll wake up at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I can't go to bed till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I wake up all tired, getting ready to go to work. I mean, Dale, this motivates me all the time, man. I don't sleep or anything. I don't do this. I mean, this puts me on a great schedule, and this is just so cool, man.
Hell yeah, brother. And I appreciate it. And you're great at this, man. It's fun.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know how it was going to be doing it. I kept doing research, how to do this, how to do that. I just said, you just told me, Craig, don't worry about it. Just say what you want to say. Just do it, man. And that's what I've been doing, man.
Well, I remember the first time you came on and I put you on the spot to do like the fire 'em up. now you are living fire 'em up segment.
Dude, so I literally was talking to one guy one time and he's like, well, hey, Greg, I write a lot of speeches for people. Maybe we'll do this. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm thinking way too much into this. Just say what the fuck comes out of your mouth and all that.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
That's exactly what happened. But I'll remember. Yeah. So yeah, Dale. Like I say, man.
But I remember that, and you were like, oh, you put me on the spot, and then you're like, I'll write them out in the future, and you were stressing about it. And I'm like, bro,
you felt
fun. Just have fun.
Yeah, dude. Exactly, man. Dude, Dale. This, like I said, man, this has just been a dream come true. Being on Rally and being on you with Bengals and Bruce. This has just been a dream, man. Come true from man. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's fun. We just got to get our Super Bowl. The Cincinnati Bengals get a Super Bowl. We're all living the high life.
Dale, that's happening. We will be getting it. Not maybe.
When we get our Super Bowl this season.
When
we get it.
Mark that.
Yes, sir. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Please subscribe. We're going to be doing make sure you spread the word. We're going to be doing a draft hat giveaway, Derek was saying earlier. So one of the new draft hats, we're going to give away one of those around draft time. We'll probably do like we did last year where it's like everybody can guess their first round pick. And then we got obviously a little bigger following than we did last year when we just started. But then if multiple people have the first round right, we'll go to the second round. Who can get the second round right? Stuff like that. And then whatever at some point, then we'll, whoever wins it, and we'll ship it to you. So
there you go, man.
We love to give away shit when we can. So even though we're a bunch of broke ass people.
Yeah. Story of my life.
But we appreciate the support. That's the main thing. So love y'all. Hooday.
Hooday, baby. Let's go. It's time. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and up. In the jungle, we unite and up. Drippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight. Live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. So the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day.